Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm excited for another fabulous show. We've got Eddie Trunk. He's a music historian, and he's got a new TV program called TrunkFest. And he goes around to different festivals and talks to the musicians and talks to people that are involved in the festival. And it's kind of like a backstage pass. And I'm excited. We're going to chat about that. It's a new program that just came out. Also, we got a quote for today. You ready for that?
I am ready.
Let's do both. We got Saturday quote and Sunday quote. The Saturday quote is from George Adair. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. It's true. So many times you don't do things because why?
Because you're afraid.
Yeah. So get over it, and then you get there. And then the Sunday quote from Brad Metzler says, we are all ordinary. We are all boring. We are all spectacular. We are all shy. We are all bold. We are all heroes. We are all helpless. It just depends on the day.
I guess so.
And that's true as well. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Have a great weekend program for you, so stick around. It's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, July the 7th, is National Dive Bar Day. Also National Father-Daughter Take a Walk Day. National Strawberry Sundae Day. And National Macaroni Day. And Hop a Park Day. Sunday, the 8th day of July, is National Chocolate with Almonds Day. I like chocolate with almonds.
I love chocolate-covered almonds.
Man, I'm going to celebrate that all darn weekend. So a lot of fun stuff going on this weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. But first, Harvey Weinstein is back in the news. Haven't had him in the news in a while, have we?
No.
Been a tough week for Harvey Weinstein.
Has it?
Yeah.
Good.
This disgraced director has been hit with 3 more criminal charges. Now could be facing life in prison.
What?
Yeah, he could be facing life in prison for what he's going through and things that he's done. Or as they spin it in Hollywood, he said, I'm working on a new project with Bill Cosby.
I don't know. I don't think he'll get life in prison. There are murderers that don't get life in prison.
But here's the thing. We don't know.
This guy had relations with a plant.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, come on.
It's more than that. And there are more criminal charges that just came out. So, it's not just that. It's all of those things together that say maybe not the greatest dude on the planet.
I never said he was a great dude.
I want to make sure we clarify that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380. 1-800-438-0380.
John and Heidi.
And this is your brain on drugs. Drunk and hankering for a pie, a 26-year-old New Zealand man became enraged and smashed up an ATM. In the story, it says an ATM machine. That's one of my pet peeves.
I know that it is.
Automatic teller machine? I don't think so. So he just smashed up an ATM when it wouldn't give him the cash to buy some pie. Hayden Caskey, reportedly heavily intoxicated when he put his his card into an ATM, and the ATM ate his card and requested he contact the bank. He became so enraged, he began punching the machine with his fists.
Oh, yeah, that's
Then he smashed
logical.
a glass bottle against it, and then he completely destroyed. And says destroyed the perspex used to house the ATM. What is that? Destroyed the perspex.
Our
used
son
to
could
house
probably
the-
tell you.
Apparently, that's the little housing that it's in. Anyway, the ATM was damaged, left inoperable. He then left the scene. He was later located by police, and he told them the damage to the machine happened because it ate his bank card, and he needed the card to buy a pie. So,
of course he did.
As long as you have an excuse.
Exactly.
Bad idea. Oh, boy. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. Hollywood Reporter revealed that their Jurassic World powerhouse, it actually put Hollywood up to their biggest box office quarter ever. Now, it's not just that movie. There have been several really, really, really big movies lately, but that's the one that kind of put them over the top to the biggest Hollywood quarter box office totals in the history of Hollywood box office totals. So, in other words, it's been a good time to go see a movie, apparently. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross has left the network this week after being suspended last year for filing a false report about the president's national security advisor, Michael Flynn. Now he decided to move on and do something else. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all the details on that. And then the Neon Film Distribution Company acquired the rights to a 1986 documentary about Tonya Harding competing at the National Figure Skating Championships. This has been sitting there since 1986, Heidi.
The movie that they ended up doing?
No, there's a documentary that's been sitting there since 1986 that has had no interest. But then the movie, Tonya,
it was really
fantastic,
good movie.
But it did so well, and there's been all this new interest. Then she goes on for the Dancing with the Stars, and she does really well there. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, "Hey, blow the dust off this thing. It's from 1986. Let's get this out now." So it'll be interesting to see how well that does. It's a documentary from '86 that we might actually be seeing soon. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, your scoop of the day brought to you by 80sinthesand.com. The FBI arrested a Cleveland man who was planning a terrorist-like attack during the 4th of July celebration in Cleveland.
Oh, that's super.
Yeah, I'm glad they got the guy. That's kind of scary to think about what could have happened there. Oprah Winfrey's in the news. She said she will not run for president in 2020, quote, because she could never put up with all the BS, end quote. So... you know what? I think it's a thankless job. It really is.
Oh, it absolutely is.
It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. There's like everybody is upset at you for something sometime. And it's
I wouldn't want that job.
No, not at all. The FBI, the SEC, that's the Security Exchange Commission, and the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, they've all joined the federal investigation into Facebook's data sharing practices. So apparently that's turned into a pretty big deal. Do you feel like it's a... I don't know.
I don't really worry about it, honestly.
Here's the thing I have to say. Everything that you put in there, you voluntarily put in there.
Right. You know when you're putting it in there that it's,
don't put it in there.
That it's going to be out there for people to see.
And
so don't be shocked when people see it.
What? You know that I was eating pizza Thursday? You posted a photo. And then you commented, that was yummy pizza. And you had another photo later saying, that sure was good pizza. Here's the leftovers. How did you know I ate pizza, you spy?
Oh,
I mean, it's just crazy that, we put the stuff in there, then we're like, oh, how did people find this? And I understand it's the data sharing, so they're saying when they're sharing that with others, we're sharing it with them. Again, I don't know, there may be some nefarious things going on, but if you don't want to be on there, don't be on there. It's not like anybody made you stay. A study by the U.S. National Cancer Institute found that drinking coffee will help you live longer.
Okay.
Wasn't there a study like 2 weeks ago that said it'll kill you quicker? It all depends on who does the study. This one was sponsored by Juan Valdez. So, no, it was not really. It was not. NASA announced plans to release the very first pictures of the dwarf planet Ceres. Oh, that happened on Thursday. We missed it.
Oh.
Ceres spelled Ceres. I hope I'm saying it right. That's how I've heard it pronounced. But so they released the first pictures. I didn't even see them. Coney Island hot dog eating champ this last week, Joey Chestnut, is now selling his own line of condiments. Now, did he win this year as well? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Heidi's not into that kind of thing.
No, I do not watch that. I can honestly say I don't watch
I have been in
stuff.
one. Do you remember the time I was in a hot dog eating contest? You were not there. It was at an event when we lived in Pella, Iowa. It was just the worst time for me ever to be in a hot dog eating contest. I'm a big guy. So they go,
the worst?
No, seriously, because I literally.
When is the best time?
Not this night, because they asked me to do this when I just got off the phone with you. You said, hey, I got the grill going. I'm making ribeyes, so don't eat anything. And I said, oh, okay. And I hung up the phone, and like a minute later, like, hey, we need you. I was like, oh, what can I help with? They're like, we need you to be one of the contestants. I was like, contestants in what? The hot dog eating contest. I'm like, guys, I don't want to be in it. So I literally ate like half a hot dog. Everybody was like placing their bets. Ooh, the fat guy. And I was up against like, it was me, a 12-year-old, a 6-year-old, and, another little kid. And it was me. And I didn't even try. I was like, guys, I have dinner waiting for me at home. I'm not going to eat a bunch of hot dogs. But this dude has his own line of condiments. Would you want to have Joey Chestnut ketchup? I mean, is that something that you think, oh, that's what I want?
No, but I suppose if that's what you're known for, it would be a cool thing.
I want condiments that are, that'll make it easy to eat 47 hot dogs in a row. I mean, it's just not, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. The FBI arrested a Kentucky man for threatening to kill Senator Rand Paul and his family with an axe. What in the world?
Yep.
Calm down. And our last story here. An expert on the British royals claims that Meghan Markle has worn over $1 million worth of clothing since she's married Prince Harry. So wait a minute. You're an expert on the British royals? How do you become an expert on the British royals?
And who would want that title?
This is my job. I'm an expert on the royals. I mean, I basically just snoop all day and see what is the prince up to today? I mean, get a life, lady. But $1 million worth of clothing since she's just married recently this year. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna wear any of that stuff. It's not up to me. Who cares?
Could you imagine me in a role like that? I'd wear the same thing every single day.
She'd be in the press.
Rewear my pants 4 or 5 times.
And then when she's on the runway, they'd be like, Heidi, what are you wearing? Who are you wearing? She's like, I don't know. I got this at Goodwill. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Got a music historian joining us today, Eddie Trunk. He is a music historian that has a new program called TrunkFest, and it's on Access TV Sundays at 9:30 Eastern. Eddie, how are you, sir?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Where did the concept for TrunkFest come from? How did this television show come about?
It actually came from the network. I've done a bunch of TV and radio stuff in my past, but this was actually the first time that the network or anyone came to me and said, hey, we've got this idea, and we'd like to see if you'd like to host it. So when they presented it to me, it seemed to make a lot of sense. The show focuses on music festivals, and we have more music festivals in this country than ever before, so it was a good opportunity to spotlight some of them, and it was right up my alley for what I do, so it worked out really well.
Now, the thing that I think is neat, I'm just kind of looking at some of the people that are on this program for this first season here, and it's not just rock stars, but you've got some stars from country music. You've got kind of a little bit of everything, and even a daredevil. So there's a lot of different stuff going on here, but all very interesting people, aren't they?
Yeah, the important thing to note about the show, though, is that it actually is not so much about artists. I know there's artists spotlighted in the release, and every episode does have a brief artist interview, but the show is more of a travel show. The show is more about what happens around music festivals. So instead of people thinking it might be more of like an interview show and just going there and talking to all the bands, it's actually not. That's a part of it, but a big part of it is also about the food, the city, the culture, the attractions, beyond who's playing. So to that end, we really don't care so much about what the lineups are at the festivals, the genre of music. It's more about what's going on at that festival, what's going on in that city, what can we cover that makes that festival unique. Because, as I said, there's so many festivals of every genre of music. It's way more about the experience than it is any particular artist or even talking to an artist.
That's really cool. And for anybody that's ever been to a music festival or even like a county fair, you know that there's so much more going on than what's happening on that stage. So I think it's a really cool idea to get a chance to see some of the different things that happen. I see one of the places you went was the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. That thing's been going on forever. What kind of crazy things did you get to see there?
Well, that's the first episode, which debuted last Sunday. The show's on every Sunday, but the shows repeat all throughout the week. But the new ones debut on Sundays at 9:30. So people can certainly still see that one, I'm sure, repeating on Access TV. But the Sturgis episode was interesting for me. It was the first one we shot. It was obviously Sturgis, for people that don't know, is huge into bike. It's all about motorcycles. It's a motorcycle rally. I don't ride motorcycles, so right there it was interesting because I got in a sidecar and took a ride in a motorcycle that way. I never really shot a gun, and I went to a range and shot a gun, which was a massive gun, and learned how to hit a target. So it was. There's a daredevil that jumps a rattlesnake. There's a lot of pretty cool stuff in there that goes on. And then George Thorogood was the musical guest playing that day, and he's the artist that we talked to. We also take a ride to the Sturgis area, Sturgis, South Dakota. It's known for the Buffalo Chip, which is where the rally takes place and where the bands play. But there's actually an area, other beautiful areas there in South Dakota. So we went out to a place called Full Throttle Saloon, which was being rebuilt. There was a TV show done from there not too long ago, a series as well. And Jesse James Dupree from Jackal is there because he's a big part of that scene. So it's just, you get a real good cross-section of everything that goes on in that area of South Dakota, which is really beautiful.
Again, the show itself is called TrunkFest. It's on Access TV Sundays at 9:30 Eastern. And if you tune in on Sunday, you get to see all kinds of cool stuff. It's not just the interviews with the artists. I'm glad that you said that because I think that would be really cool too. But I love the idea of seeing all of the other things that happen at these festivals. That's a really neat idea.
Yeah, that's something that was definitely a big thing that the network wanted to do. They pick the festivals that we cover. I don't. And the main criteria for the festivals that we cover is what's the city like, what's going on around it, are there attractions beyond just the music. So that's the thing. We go to New Orleans twice because New Orleans is such a great city for stuff like that. And we cover two different festivals in the first 8 episodes from New Orleans, Voodoo Fest and Jazz Fest. So right there you could imagine all the things that go on in New Orleans around those. Voodoo Fest, which is the second episode, which will air this Sunday, that episode was Voodoo Fest happens Halloween weekend in New Orleans, so you could imagine how crazy that is. So every one is sort of like a different adventure, and it gets me. They get me out of my comfort zone a little bit and put me in some situations that I'm not necessarily comfortable in. You know, doing some things I wouldn't normally do. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's been very eye-opening for me to see how all these festivals are put together, the different lineups, the eclectic nature of the music. The different things that go on around them. So it's really, I mean, I've been in the music industry my whole life, but I've learned a lot just doing this series.
Well, thank you so much for doing it, and also thank you for taking some time to tell us a little more about it.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. I hope everybody checks it out. You can always DVR it so you don't forget. Appreciate everybody doing that and having a look at the show. Like you said, you don't even have to really be into the music or any of the artists playing at the festival. It's way more about the experience and learning what goes on around it. So hope everybody likes it, and I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Again, music historian Eddie Trunk. His new program, TrunkFest, is on Access TV Sundays, 9:30 Eastern. Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner, you should consider using radio. Radio is a powerful tool. Over 90% of us listen to the radio each week. Imagine if this ad was talking about your business, helping you hit your goals. We can help. We can also create a fun jingle too, to get people singing your song. When you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable, and that makes radio work even better. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. Radio jingles to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Rowan, the name Rowan, R-O-W-A-N, is an alternate name for the mountain ash tree. So if you see a mountain ash tree, you can say,
Rowan tree.
You can say, hey, what's up, Rowan? Hear your friends call you Rowan. I'm not sure why it needs 2 names. An alternative name. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Tulip bulbs were once exchanged as a form of currency.
Ah.
So that was in Holland. So like if you wanted to buy something, you're like, how much does that cost? You're like 6
4
bulbs. That costs you 6 bulbs right there. All right. And then one last fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The jersey worn by the winners of each stage in the Tour de France, what color is it? Do you know?
I have no idea.
It is yellow. Yellow. That is the color of the jersey worn by the winners in each stage of the Tour de France.
All righty.
Couple of fun facts for you here on this weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and today is another one of those big, long, weird words. It's gillygoppus. What do you think gillygoppus means?
I honestly could not tell you.
Gilly-Gaupus. Gillygoppus. It is an awkward, foolish, or silly person. Don't be gillygoppus, Heidi. Gillygoppus, a Scotch term for a tall, awkward fellow. Oh, our son would be gillygoppus then. He's very tall. He's not awkward, really.
He's not awkward.
He went through an awkward phase, though. Our
Everybody
son,
has gone through an awkward phase.
But here's the thing. He grew so fast, so quickly, that he wasn't quite ready for all those long legs and long arms.
All those long legs? You make it sound like he's an octopus.
He went through like a Bambi phase. Where he was like, oh, I don't know. He was kind of a little gillygoppus, if I say so myself.
Jeez.
Okay. Gerald will never entice Miss Pennystone into courtship as long as he remains such a hackly gillygoppus. Okay. I don't know what that means. That was our silly sentence. The sentences never make sense, but the words always do because they are the grandiloquent word of the day. Again, today it's gillygoppus.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now some weird news for you this weekend. Take a listen to this story. A man bought $1 million worth of toys from Toys R Us right before they closed up.
I heard about this just the other day.
Crazy. Heidi was so disappointed that she didn't
get
in some bargains.
Literally had.
She was like awake at night, like, I can't believe I didn't get in there for the 99%
I'm
off.
serious. I was like having nightmares.
Anyway, it's been verified. An employee from a store in North Carolina who was not authorized to speak on behalf of the company said the buyer visited their location to purchase toys. The employee went on to say, it didn't all happen at this location. We don't have that much inventory. It happened at various stores. They likely went through the liquidator. The only items remaining in the store there were a small selection of assorted baby clothes and a few small aisles of toys. In a phone call to the Raleigh store, an employee there declined to comment when asked about further information about the anonymous shopper or what their immediate plans were following the large purchase. So they don't know what they were going to do with it. But somebody went in and said, I'll take everything except for those baby clothes. I don't know why they wouldn't want those. So I wonder if it was another toy store? I don't know. Interesting stuff. I've got a link to the whole story if you want to read all about it. It's in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh. I think this is a really cool story, but I guarantee you there are going to be some people who are going to be upset with Jimmy John's about this.
Okay.
There's customer service, then there's Jimmy John's customer service. According to this story, this is good, I believe, I think. Twitter user Kayla Spear shared a story on Twitter last Wednesday about how she found her long-distance boyfriend cheating on her, and it all started with a surprise for their 3-month anniversary when she thought, I'm going to send some Jimmy John's to him.
Okay.
So far, it sounds like a nice story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He was studying for finals, and she thought, you know what? I'm going to send him some food. She said her boyfriend told her, yeah, I'm going to take a nap, and she let him know, I'm going to send some food your way. When she didn't hear back, she assumed that maybe he fell asleep, but that's when things started getting weird. The delivery driver double-checked that the order was for her boyfriend and that she was not in town. She confirmed the long-distance relationship, saying that, yes, I'm in a different town. That's when the driver came clean and said, there was a different lady there, so that's why I was wondering. Kayla continued, saying we have some follow-up questions for the driver. He graciously answered all of them. She was able to confirm that indeed it was her boyfriend in the end. And Kayla sounded grateful for Jimmy John's honesty about the situation, thanked them for going above and beyond. She says not many would do that, what this delivery driver did, and I'm very grateful that he called me and was honest about the situation. Hashtag WWJJD. So you have what would Jesus do, WWJD. Now she's got what would Jimmy John's do. Here's the thing that I think is interesting. Jimmy John's is offering to cater her breakup party. So anyway, it's in our moment of duh today because, dude, first of all, don't cheat on your girlfriend. That's the main thing. But if you're gonna and she's sending you food, why would you have your girlfriend answer the door? Makes no sense.
Well, he didn't know who was at the door, and he wouldn't have thought anything about it being his girlfriend who's not even in the state, so why wouldn't he have her answer the door?
Well, terrible idea. Don't be a cheater. Cheater, pumpkin eater.
Exactly.
You get what you had coming. We've got more fun stuff to get to. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Tell me, Heidi, is this fake news or is this something that really truly happened in the great state of Florida? A woman was arrested for driving 70 miles per hour with her boyfriend clinging to the hood of the car, talking on the phone. Fake news or Florida? That is a true story. Can you imagine? Can you even imagine? Just driving along, minding your own business, and you have a car cruising past with a guy on the hood. You know, I think he was calling police. I'm not sure who he was calling, but what a crazy day that would be.
That is so funny.
All right, one more. Fake news or Florida? A defense attorney's pants caught fire while delivering the closing arguments in an arson case.
We talked about this, and that is Florida.
Fake news or Florida? It is truly a Florida story. I wonder why that one came back up again. All right, I've got a link to these fake news and Florida stories if you want to read them. They're in our show notes under Fake News or Florida, and you'll find those for the weekend edition. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva. That is the monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All of the details at radiosavings.com. You ready for some good news, Heidi?
I am ready.
All right. I think this is a pretty darn cool story right here. My computer is going so slow. Company takes employees nationwide on an odyssey of gratitude, and they donate millions of dollars to charities. So I think that's just a neat idea. As my computer will work with me, I'll tell you more about it. Here we go. It says, it can be easy to take friends and family for granted on a day-to-day basis. But this company is aiming to spend the next 2 weeks inspiring an attitude of gratitude, starting with their employees. In an emotional video that was released by Liberty Diversified International, LDI is what they call it, a Minnesota-based manufacturer of packaging and business supplies, company employees were all asked to write a letter to somebody who they appreciate. Then they were asked to call the person who they wrote about so they could read their affectionate words out loud. One woman became tearful when she told her boss how much she appreciated her career in her workplace. Other people got understandably choked up from reading the letters to their parents or whoever it was. One woman even read a movingly symbolic letter to somebody who had passed away. By the end of the video, it seemed that most of them were feeling the love, and the social gesture was released as a means of starting their cross-country tour to celebrate their 100th anniversary. Company workers will be traveling through 17 cities over 19 days or so, and they can spend millions of dollars on giving back to these local communities. It's called the Great Gratitude Tour, and it kicked off this week in New York City. How cool is that?
That's very cool.
I think it's a really neat thing. The tearjerker video is online. I've got a link to it in the story in our show notes page if you look for good news at the bottom of the show notes. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.